What if the modern world wasn't born in wars or revolutions, but in ideas? The Enlightenment reshaped how humanity understood truth, freedom, and progress. Across Europe, thinkers questioned kings, scientists mapped the cosmos, and artists turned reason into beauty. These weren't abstractions. They were built into palaces, gardens, and streets that still breathe today. Ready? Let's roam. Number 10. London, England. In 18th century London, curiosity became a civic duty. The newly formed Royal Society turned private wonder into public experiment. At Greenwich Observatory, astronomers charted the heavens so accurately that navigation and global trade changed forever. In crowded coffeehouses, philosophers argued over pamphlets dripping with ink and caffeine, shaping newspapers, stock markets, and science alike. The British Museum, founded in 1753, opened its marble doors to anyone with questions, not credentials. Standing beneath its vast rotunda today, you feel the hum of an age when asking why became more radical than any crown. London's Enlightenment reminds us that real power lies in shared knowledge. Number 9. Teylers Museum, Haarlem, Netherlands. When Peter Taylor, a banker and philanthropist, founded this museum in 1778, he wanted to capture the universe in one room. Light pours through the oval skylight onto fossils, microscopes, and early electrical coils that once crackled with blue fire. Demonstrations here made science a spectacle. Citizens gathered as sparks jumped between glass spheres, proof that nature obeyed discoverable laws. Haarlem's gentle canals outside contrasted with the thunder of ideas inside. Teylers Museum showed Europe that learning could inspire wonder and humility at once, and that a well-lit room could be more powerful than a sermon. Number 8. Warsaw Royal Castle, Poland. At the edge of empires, Warsaw dared to reinvent sovereignty. Inside the royal castle, philosophers and statesmen blended French, British, and American thought into a constitution that promised liberty to peasants and nobles alike. The signing on May 3, 1791, turned the palace into a beacon for reformers across the continent. Its crimson chambers survived war and reconstruction, just as Poland's faith in enlightened government survived partitions and dictatorships. To walk its echoing corridors now is to feel courage written into architecture, a reminder that ideas stronger than armies can rebuild a nation again and again. Number 7. Dessau Worlitz Garden Realm, Germany. Long before parks were public, Prince Franz imagined one that would teach virtue through design. Spread across 55 square kilometers, the Worlitz Gardens mixed English landscapes with classical temples and moral allegories. The Temple of Friendship honored reasoned dialogue. The Rock Island volcano symbolized nature's controlled chaos. Visitors were meant to stroll, reflect, and leave wiser than they arrived. Every vista was calculated, trees framing symmetry, bridges revealing new perspectives, just as philosophers sought order in complexity. Today, its lakes and lawns still whisper that beauty and reason grow from the same soil. Number 6. Vienna, Austria. Vienna under Joseph II pulsed with reform. The emperor's decrees reached from hospitals to opera halls, closing monasteries that hoarded wealth, freeing farmers from serfdom, and promoting vaccination after smallpox ravaged Europe. In candlelit salons, Mozart performed pieces dedicated to liberty and fraternity, while Haydn composed symphonies that mirrored the mathematical elegance of the age. Inside the Austrian National Library, frescoes show wisdom guiding humanity out of darkness, a literal enlightenment painted across the ceiling. Vienna's golden light and ordered streets remind us that progress can sound as beautiful as it is brave. Number 5. Weimar, Germany. Weimar was small enough for genius to fit within walking distance. Goethe's home still holds his mineral collections and sketches. Upstairs, his study faces the sunrise he believed symbolized renewal. Schiller lived nearby, turning moral philosophy into theater that moved nations. In the park an der Ilm, the two friends debated how art could teach ethics long before psychology gave it language. Their legacy outlived empires. The Weimar Constitution of 1919 carried their belief in human dignity into modern law. This quiet town shows that the Enlightenment's most enduring revolution wasn't political, it was personal. Number 4. Potsdam and Sanssouci Palace, Germany. Frederick the Great ruled with the mind of a philosopher and the flair of an artist. At Sanssouci, his pink-hued retreat above terraced vineyards, evenings began with flutes and ended with arguments. Voltaire dined here for years, sparring with his royal host over the limits of reason and the follies of faith. The palace's perfect geometry, framed by sculpted columns and marble nymphs, mirrored Frederick's obsession with order. Yet its gardens remained open to townspeople, a radical gesture for a king. Sanssouci endures as proof that even power can bow, briefly, to intellect. Number 3. Amsterdam, Netherlands. Freedom of thought found its home in Amsterdam's labyrinth of canals. The city's presses printed banned works, Voltaire's Candide, Rousseau's Social Contract, and shipped them hidden among cargo bound for every port in Europe. Spinoza lived quietly here, grinding lenses by day and crafting the philosophy of tolerance by night. His modest home became a sanctuary for anyone who believed reason could coexist with faith. Amsterdam's Enlightenment wasn't gilded or grand, it was practical, persistent, and portable. Every bridge and warehouse helped ideas cross oceans. Standing by the Amstel today, you see the birthplace of intellectual liberty, the freedom to publish, question, and think without fear. Number 2. Edinburgh, Scotland. They called it the Athens of the North, and with good reason. In the 1700s, smoke from chimneys mingled with the buzz of argument. David Hume tested the limits of knowledge itself, Adam Smith charted a moral science of markets, and James Hutton peered into cliffsides to discover the deep time of geology. The city's topography mirrors its mind, the medieval old town clinging to its crag, while the rational new town spreads below in perfect symmetry. At sunset on Calton Hill, where neoclassical columns glow orange against the North Sea sky, you can almost hear the debates that built the modern world. Edinburgh teaches that progress begins not in agreement, but in conversation. Number 1. Paris and Versailles, France. No two places capture the Enlightenment's fire and fracture like Paris and Versailles. In Paris, salons hosted by women such as Madame Geoffrin gathered writers, scientists, and skeptics. Voltaire wielded wit like a sword. Diderot compiled the Encyclopédie, a map of all human knowledge, and Rousseau imagined a society ruled by its citizens, not its kings. Across the Seine, the Pantheon rose to honor reason in stone. But only 10 miles away, Versailles shimmered under chandeliers that symbolized everything the Enlightenment opposed: excess, hierarchy, blind faith in monarchy. When revolution came, the march from Versailles to Paris became more than a protest. It was philosophy walking on foot. The Hall of Mirrors now reflects not royal power, but the fragile brilliance of ideas that refused to die. To stand between these two worlds today is to watch light conquer darkness one thought at a time. From London's observatories to Paris's cafes, these 10 places prove that ideas can outlast empires. The Enlightenment taught us that progress begins with curiosity, thrives on courage, and endures through those willing to question everything. Comment which site inspired you most, like if you enjoyed the journey, and subscribe for more cinematic stories from history. Until next time, keep roaming.